134,000 missing people in Mexico is a figure so staggering that it should dominate international headlines. Yet outside of the country, it remains a crisis that many people know very little about. While the World Cup brought the eyes of the world to Mexico last week, families of the disappeared used the moment to remind everyone that behind the celebrations lies a human rights tragedy that has been unfolding for almost 2 decades. The roots of the crisis stretch back to the escalation of Mexico's war against the cartels in the mid-2000s. Since then, disappearances have continued to rise year after year, with many cases linked to organised criminal groups that have become deeply entrenched across parts of the country. Some observers have even described Mexico as a narco-state, pointing to the immense influence and power these organisations continue to wield, despite years of government efforts to combat them. For many families, the pain goes beyond simply losing a loved one. They are forced to live with unanswered questions every day. They do not know where their relatives are, what happened to them, or whether they will ever be found. In countless cases, mothers, fathers and relatives have taken it upon themselves to search for answers because they feel official efforts have been too slow or insufficient. Perhaps one of the most heartbreaking aspects of this crisis is that some of these families have ended up discovering mass graves themselves. They set out looking for one missing person and instead uncover evidence of many more. It is a grim reality that speaks to the scale of the problem and the desperation of those searching for closure. This is why the protests during the World Cup resonated with so many people. While billions are spent showcasing stadiums, infrastructure and national pride, there are families asking why the same urgency cannot be applied to finding the disappeared and dismantling the criminal networks responsible for so much suffering. Of course, there are no easy solutions. Proposals ranging from tougher security measures to greater international cooperation have all been debated. Some have even suggested foreign military assistance against the cartels, while others warn that escalating violence could simply result in more suffering for ordinary citizens caught in the middle. What cannot be debated is the scale of the crisis. More than 134,000 missing people is not a statistic that should be ignored. It represents families, communities and lives left suspended in uncertainty. The world often speaks about human rights, but this is one of those cases where greater attention is genuinely needed. Because unless meaningful progress is made, the number will continue to grow and more families will find themselves joining a search that has already lasted far too long. This has been the JR Voice. Stay tuned for more unpacking of global headlines.